Virginia here with Jenny Lee Gems. I am going to be working on some alcohol inks today. So it's resin day. I am going to try to do several different little projects. I don't like to waste resin, so I work on several at once. So I've pre-mixed some colors. I've got some little glitter that I'm going to dip in the middle of the alcohol inks. So if you watch my other videos, you know that I mix my resin, let it sit for 15 minutes or so, and then mix up my little extra colors I want. So here's some purple. I need more blue turquoise bottoms. So that's what I'm working on today. And I also mixed up some actual powdered turquoise. Look at that color. So I'm letting that sit and thicken because I'm going to fill in these little grooves here on this shell that I got from Mexico. That's one of the projects. And then I also mixed up some yellow because I want a background for this little frog. And I'm going to layer it just yellow in the back and then clear on the top. He'll be floating on a little yellow lily pad and it will match his belly. And then I have a custom order for a lady that wanted a picture in. So the background for that is going to be green to match the trees. I believe this was in Africa. And so I mixed up this light green, bright light green with a little bit of shimmer in it. So I mix those all up ahead of time and have them ready because it's easier to do that when you are resining. So let's see, let me show you how I pour. Let me move these colors so I don't spill them. I have been known to do that. So this resin has been mixed up and it's been sitting for 15 minutes so it thickens. So when I'm working with these alcohol ink little centers I make for my kits, I want them about 1/4 of an inch thick. So see, this resin is sat for 15 minutes, so it's a little bit thicker. It's not as runny. Hopefully you could see that pour. I'll pour one more. So I'm just making several up. I've sold out of the turquoise blue or any of the blues, and I need a few purples as well. So I'm making some up for my kits, and then hopefully by the end of March, I'm going to be teaching Zoom classes. So that's how you pour. These have all, so I have 6 of them ready. And I always go over it with my little heat gun. My hubby got me this new tip, and I love it. It really helped for making beach waves on some of my beachy baskets. So sorry about the noise, but I like to blow all the bubbles out, especially with alcohol inks, because you can't blow them around too much like you can others. So, as I've said in other videos, I always clean my molds prior to using them, and then I blow them off because dust settles, and I'm already seeing a little hair here, so I'm gonna take that off. I see a pink hair here too from clothing or something. So I try to really keep everything clean. I wash all my molds in between uses, but there's stuff flying around in the air. Okay, so we've got enough right here for 6. And this is the way I measure. I could tell it's about 1/4 of an inch, but I mark my little toothpick so I could dip it in and just make sure. Yes, that is about 1/4 of an inch. Because when I'm teaching people how to make pine needle baskets, I don't want to provide too thick of a bottom because it's harder to get your coil going to the right thickness at any rate. Okay, so first of all, let's do some blue because that is what everybody wants. So I have this beautiful turquoise blue, and I just go, let's see, you could see, oh, you could see this one. This one you could see better. Okay, so I just go around and put a little drop on the outer edge because this is going to spread. And be careful, press ever so lightly because you can get big blobs of color. Now you see how that's spreading? do little drops here because these are smaller. So sometimes you get 2 drops out, even when you don't want them. So now this little glitter resin, I've left sit for a while, and it's gotten nice and thick, and that's how I want it so it doesn't spread a lot. So in the middle, I think that I'm gonna put this sky blue. So it'll just give it a little different color, and then I'll put some glitter in the middle as well. So this sky blue is a little bit lighter than the turquoise, and you see how that runs into it, and it just gives it a really pretty effect. Now, when you're working with these colors, you always want to, well, you don't have to, because if you want to see through it, you don't have to. But they show up better if you put white on. Let me shake this up because it's been sitting a while. But you can see how that's moving. You can certainly leave it like that. You could put dots of different color in the center. The blue has really lightened up in the center. But I like to put white on each of the dots that you previously made. It sort of drops to the bottom and creates a different effect. So I'll just go around and do that, show you how we just put a little drop. I try not to get too much, but you know, it depends on the cap. And each one of these is going to come out a little different. I've tried to make exactly when I find a favorite. It never comes out exactly for me. So, and you can also layer alcohol inks, different colors, and just see what effect that gave you. See, I made an extra drop in there, and I didn't mean to, but so when I'm making floral patterns, usually I'll put yellow or orange in the center, and you can go back and paint, you know, some little seeds with a black pen, you know, black paint pen or something of that nature. So let's let those sit a little bit and see what happens. They're moving. I'm going to put a little bit of, on the low setting, just a little bit, and you'll see it causes them to grow. But you never know what it's going to look like on the other side, and that's the fun part of it. Okay, so we'll watch those for a second. I'll come back, and I will start dropping glitter in the center. I want to give them a few minutes to move the way they want to move and get to where they want to be. So here we are up close. You could see they've kind of feathered out, and the glitter has sunk to the other side. So they look very pretty on this side, but they might look even prettier on the other side. Now this glitter stayed a little bit more on top. Here's a smaller one that I pulled the lines through and created more of a floral effect. And here's the second blue. These are the purple. Now the purple seem to travel quite a bit more, so I'll have to keep a watch on this, but this one didn't travel as much. You can see the glitter on the other side. I'll probably add a little more. And this one, yeah, it's really traveled. So I'll probably use my little tool to pull these in a little bit and maybe add more glitter. So here is the yellow, and I left it sit long enough, and it's only about 1/8 of an inch thick. So I think I'm ready to put my little frog in there. Let's see, I think I want to put his head this way. Better. There he goes. I think that'll look really cute. Now he is really tall, so it won't be a problem setting him down in that 1/8 inch resin. It's not going to flow up over him while it's wet. Now, this is going to be the backing. The green is going to be the backing for this photo. So that'll go right on top. There'll be a little bit of green around, and then I'll layer it with clear. So I had a little bit of resin left, so I went ahead and made a few more purple. Nope, I didn't make purple. I made blue. Anyway, that's what they're looking like. These are little elongated ones. I think I'll have to define them. I haven't put the glitter in yet. I'll keep working on those. Here we are, 24 hours later. They look really nice and dry. There's my little frog. He looks cute. Here are all those rainbows. They are wild. I'm not sure what they're going to look like on the other side, but they look pretty psychedelic. Let's see. That's what it will look like on the other side when I demold it. So I am going to add a layer of clear on these just to protect that color a little bit. I did quite a few projects yesterday. I did these sugar starfish. I'll put them in a little bit of pink got on there. I'll put them in a mold and put something underneath them. But I wanted to strengthen them, so I painted them with a real light resin coat. And I did the second coat on this rose. That looks pretty cool. And let's see, I had to rebrush these, and they came out good. And this turquoise embedded inside a shell looks pretty good too. And the picture, I'm going to put a clear coat on top today. So let's demold a few just so we could figure out what they look like on the other side. So here's the blue, which is the most requested I get in my kits for some reason lately. Let's pull it out. Now it's still pretty soft. Oh, look at that. That is beautiful. Oh my gosh. So if you've watched my other videos, that looks like a beautiful flower. So it's still pliable. If you've watched my other videos, you'll see that I always have a clean sheet of parchment paper, and I allow them to dry for another 24 or 48 hours before I even mark them and drill them. So let's check out a purple. See what that looks like. Oh, that came out beautiful too. Now, the sparkles in the center kind of spread, but that's fine. These are for beginner basket makers, so they don't mind. They just want something bright and beautiful. Here is another purple. Try not to get any little specks. Sometimes you have little drops. Oh, this one came out just about perfect. So this is one of the ones that I pulled the lines through to give it a little more definition. And that looks really nice. So let's check out my little rose here. So you'll recall I did one layer of red underneath, and then I put a clear coat on top. You could see there. And that's the same thing I'm going to do with these rainbows because they're a little thin and I just want to thicken them up. So as I worked on this, I had to keep spooning with a little spoon the resin over the top so that it protected these as well. Even though the petals are all metal, I like to have them protected so nothing chips off. So that one's pretty solid. I'll set it aside and let it dry for a couple more days probably. And then let's try one of these. These are a different shape. These are a different color. These are a lighter blue. I've got some bright blue. I went crazy with the blues yesterday, and that's a little lighter turquoise blue. So we'll try one of these and see what they look like on the other side. This is the best part, pulling these out. So when you're taking them out, watch for little drops along the sides, and you don't want to get them stuck to your piece as it's drying. Oh, that looks really different. So see what the white did? You kind of never know what's going to happen. Depends on how it interacts with the alcohol inks. But so this, I put a little yellow in the middle. You could see that blending around the sparkles, the confetti, and then it just kind of grew. But it gives it a really cool look from the side. You could see how it's falling in there. So those are really pretty. Those are a lighter blue. There's a more turquoise blue floral look. So they all really come out different. Let's try one of these darker blues. I'm sorry, I'm knocking the table around. My husband made me this really tall table. It's easier than bending over a short table all the time. These are a little stuck in there. They're a little harder to get out than the round ones. But so there's that bright blue. That is beautiful. Oh, but look on this side. That's pretty. So in these kits, you can decide which side you want to use. Either side is fine. Well, I will be taking the rest of these out of their molds and laying them on a nice flat surface, clean, with parchment paper under it to dry. And I'll be drilling them here in a few days. So I just wanted to show you how this one, look at the alcohol inks up here, how it just has little legs on it. It just really moved on out. And then when you look through the side, it's just really cool the way it's three-dimensional. Okay, I'll show you the rainbow ones when I take them out tomorrow. Thanks for watching. So this little yellow guy looks like an egg, and it was just some leftover resin, so I put what I had in there. And these will end up being just demos or freebies. I want to see what it looks like on the other side. Oh, it looks like you have the orange and then the bright yellow in the center, but then the blue stayed on this side. But on this side, it barely leaked through. But kind of looks like an egg to me.